Abortion is a hard issue. It demands the best from all of us, not a judgment by just a few of us. When an issue affects everyone, and when the Constitution does not take sides on it, it belongs to the people. Roe and Casey have failed, but the people, if given the chance, will succeed. This court should overrule Roe and Casey and uphold the state's law.
Amen. I'm going to disagree with him on one minor thing, though. I do not consider abortion to be a hard issue. I don't consider it to be difficult at all. I consider it to be controversial with people who are wrong, but I don't consider it to be a controversial issue. And I realize I'm speaking to a lot of people right now, and a lot of people may disagree, and I need to be real clear about something. I don't care. That doesn't mean anything to me at all. If you believe it is okay to carve up a baby like a Thanksgiving turkey in its mother's womb, you're wrong, and I'm right. That's a fact. And I will tell you something, I'm very hopeful. I'm going to get to what Clarence Thomas said today, what that horrible ghoul Sotomayor said, and much, much more today. But let's just talk about abortion very, very frankly. Very frankly. It is more than a stain on this nation. It has us give up our moral high ground that it even exists here. I don't differentiate between atrocities done to women and children just because they're done by a doctor in a white lab coat in a nice setting where there's, with disinfectant and such on the shelves. I don't differentiate. We as Americans make a mistake. I've made it 1,000 times myself. Maybe you've made it too. We look at places around the world. Maybe there's human rights abuse. Maybe there's, like I said, assaults on women and children, whatever the case may be. And what we do as Americans, because we love America, I love America, you love America, we look down on them as if we are somehow better. You hear this all the time now with the Taliban in Afghanistan. Now, don't get me wrong, the Taliban are evil monsters, and I hope all of them drop dead at midnight tonight. Actually, take that back. Right now, I wish all of them would drop dead. I'm not defending the Taliban. But you'll hear an American, maybe on the left, maybe on the right, you'll hear them go off and but the Taliban, and I can't believe they treat women that way, and they abuse kids, they sell kids off into slavery, it's disgusting. Yeah, you're right, it is disgusting, it's terrible, it should never happen. You understand that we have killed 50 million unborn babies in this country? 50 million. Not 50, not even 50,000, 50 million. And I don't care that this is something that's gone on for 50 years now, and it's just part of who we are. It's no less disgusting today than it always was. Abortion is demonic, evil, and wrong. And as a quick side note before I go into what Clarence Thomas said and Kavanaugh and Sotomayor and everything else, I do believe it is demonic. And let me tell you why. Some time ago, I did a stupid little video. It was during Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation. And decided to go undercover. It was just a joke. Again, the video is not important. It's on YouTube if you want to see it. It doesn't matter. But I do a little video. And I had to go back to the Kavanaugh protests. And I put on some T-shirt that made it look like I was a liberal. And of course, they discovered me right away. It doesn't matter. But I was there with a bunch of pro-abortion people. Remember, a lot of that Kavanaugh opposition was all about abortion. I love abortion. And I was going there with the intention of just kind of mocking them, poking them in the ribs a little bit, having fun with the whole thing. And I did that. You'll see it in the video. It's a funny video. People love it. But I had moments there, and I don't have a heart, but I had moments there. I got genuinely sad for these people. If you ever spend time around these pro-abortion activists, I'm telling you, there's something deeply wrong. We're not talking about an argument you have with your neighbor over taxes or illegal immigration. You get to one of these people who is just vehemently pro-abortion, there's something wrong. I will never forget as long as I live. No, I didn't take a picture of it or video, nor would it have been appropriate to do so, but I'll never forget there was a young lady there. 20s, 30s, I don't know. I'm officially at the age I can't tell how old anyone is anymore, but I would guess 30s probably. And she was standing on the Supreme Court steps. and she was naked from the waist up and had all this writing all over her body. And you take one look at that girl's eyes and you knew there was something deeply, deeply wrong in there. Drugs, demons, I don't know what it is, but there is a real sickness on that side. And if you are on the pro-life side, you should feel very proud that you stand opposite of those people. So yes, I am hopeful. I'm very, very hopeful we can overturn this law. It should not even exist in this nation. Clarence Thomas, God love Clarence Thomas. You can tell he was waiting for this one for a while.
I understand we're talking about abortion here, but what is confusing is that if we were talking about the Second Amendment, I know exactly what we're talking about. If we're talking about the Fourth Amendment, I know what we're talking about because it's written, it's there. What specifically is the right here that we're talking about?
Well, Justice Thomas, I think that the court in those other contexts with respect to those other amendments has had to articulate what the text means and the bounds of the constitutional guarantees. And it's done so through a variety of different tests that implement First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, Fourth Amendment rights. So I don't think that there is anything unprecedented or anomalous about the right that the court articulated in Roe and Casey and the way that it implemented that right by defining the scope of the liberty interest by reference to viability and providing that that is the moment when the balance of interest tips and when the state can act to prohibit a woman from getting an abortion based on its interest in protecting the fetal life at that point.
So the right specifically is abortion.
It's the right of a woman prior to viability to control whether to continue with a pregnancy, yes.
That was wonderful. I know that was a lot of legal mumbo jumbo, not from Clarence, but from her. She immediately tried to do the word salad thing. You always know when someone's there, when someone's lying or they got the back against the wall and they just start chucking words out there. But basically, to break that down simply, Clarence Thomas just asked a really basic question abortion activists have no answer for. Which amendment do you think gives you the right to murder your child? Where is it? Like he said, I mean, I have the Second Amendment. If we're talking about firearms, there's an amendment right there. It's part of the Constitution. I can see it. Where's the amendment that gives you the right to murder your child? It doesn't exist at all. And I do need to clarify something before we go on here. There's some confusion. If Roe versus Wade gets overturned, that does not outlaw abortion in the United States of America. It does not. It does send the issue back to the states, where then the individual states can outlaw abortion. Don't get me wrong, I do believe there should be a federal law outlawing it. I do, but that's not what's at stake here. What's at stake here is, does this give the freedom to individual states to make that call? That's what's going on here. And I'm going to play some Brett Kavanaugh here in a second, and I want to be perfectly clear about something. I don't know the exact way he's going to go, but it looks like he's going to go for the pro-life side. And I've been hard on Brett Kavanaugh because I remember Brett Kavanaugh getting put through the ringer by these dirty communists when he was trying to get on the Supreme Court. And I remember you, me, everybody out there fighting tooth and nail against the character assassination they put that man through. And then he's been on the Supreme Court and he hasn't been that rock solid for us at all. And that has angered me to no end when you go to bat like that for somebody and he's really kind of been very, very squishy and average. But if Brett Kavanaugh will come through on this one thing, I'll be frank with you, I'll forgive him.
You think about some of the most important cases, the most consequential cases in this court's history. There's a string of them where the cases overruled precedent. If we think that the prior precedents are seriously wrong, if that, why then doesn't the history of this court's practice with respect to those cases tell us that the right answer is actually to return to the position of neutrality?
Again, that's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo, so allow me to explain. Lots of times Roe versus Wade gets upheld because they'll use that word precedent. Well, it's precedent. That was Kavanaugh saying precedent. If the precedent was always wrong, then why are we talking about precedent? Again, sounding like he's going to go our way. Fingers crossed out there, fingers crossed. Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.